Anthony. And those of you who knew Mr. Anthony knew that he did not play about getting out of a contract. And I wanted to go to Malvern because it would be my first opportunity at becoming an administrator. And he told me, he looked at me eye to eye, and he told me, "You can't go." That was his first answer to me, and I think we had 4 meetings before he actually released me out of my contract, and it was a day before before the deadline of me signing that contract to go to Malvern Junior High School as as an assistant principal. Mr. Anthony was a strong leader, diligent leader. He meant what he said, and he said what he meant. And his one of the greatest things that I hear everybody talk about when it comes to Mr. Anthony is the 7 P's. Everybody knew about those 7 P's: prior, proper planning, prevented. There it is. There it is. We're going to miss Mr. Anthony. We pray for his family, and on tonight, as we go into our moment of silence, I would ask that you would remember his family and remember his school family as well. Will you all please stand with me for our moment of silence? Thank you. If you would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Our next item on the agenda for tonight is special recognition.
I try to stay close. I like to move around. Okay. First up, showing our Stripes Award, we have Angel Smith, placed in first place in the Arkansas State 4-H Orama and qualifying for the national competition. Angel Smith.
All right. Congratulations. Great job.
And I'm sorry, I want to recognize parents or family that came out and her great principal at Pine Bluff High School, Dr. Lorraine.
All right.
Now in Pine Bluff, we not just only want to recognize our current students, but we have students who have left Pine Bluff and are still doing great things. So I want to recognize Xavier Sims for serving as the national president for JAG National Career Association. They had a celebration today, and I will tell you, if you are from the great city of Pine Bluff, he represented well. Well spoken. Everybody speaks highly of him, and he just represents our city well. And he oversees, being the president, there's about 80,000 members, right? So just to give you guys a little history about JAG, I just learned today. We're one of 32 states that are involved in the JAG program. So Xavier is the national president, and he serves right here in Little Rock, but he's traveled all over the nation. Where else have you been?
You name it, I've been there.
You name it. Okay. He's already in a week or so. You've been from East Coast to West Coast.
California to DC.
All right. Which one did you like better?
DC.
All right. Wait, stay here, because I want you to stay here for our next person I'm going to bring up. our students, they are led into greatness by having great supporters. So this next person is a champion for kids, and we have a new award that we're going to be acknowledging this year. Um, People who are being champions for our students. And our motto this year, you see it up there. Our theme for this year is a champion for every child. Every child needs and deserves a champion. We truly believe that and we want to embrace that in everything we do in our district. So Calvin Thomas, we want to call him up. And he was recognized as the JAG 6 of 6 for meeting JAG standards for student follow-up. So JAG is a program that not only wants to introduce students to jobs in school, but the follow-up is what they do after school, and there's 6 criteria they have to meet. So even after they leave the high school, he's following up with them and making sure that those 6 criteria are met, and he got the 6 of 6. So he was one of several in the state, but I was proud to see that Pine Bluff School District was recognized. And all of us who are educators, former educators, raise your hand. You know your summer times, you want your summer times to be for who? For yourself. You're right. So it takes a lot for an educator to give up a summertime to invest and do extra things on top of what they already do. So we want to recognize a couple of people who have just given up their summertime to pour into our students and give them some special moments during the summer. And we know that we're an early start school, so summertime is about that big. But I truly appreciate these 2 people. The first person is Takesha Cross, in recognition of your outstanding dedication and, yes, give her a hand as she's coming up, and dedication and hard work in successfully operating a summer school program for our students. And not just any summer school program. Come over here close to the mic. Tell us a little bit about this program and why it's unique.
This particular program is unique because it deals with STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. It is a program that was introduced to Dalloway, and we transferred that program over to Pine Bluff School District. And we've hosted the program for the past 5 years, and we have been awarded double the funding this particular year, and we just received that notification because we have a wait list every year, and right now we serve 225 kiddos, and next year we'll be able to serve up to 500 students. So we're excited to be able to have the additional funding and to have leadership who definitely supports the program year after year.
Thank you so much. All right, last but not least, a champion for our kids. Messing this one up. Okay, Miss Sarita Sanders, in recognition of your outstanding dedication and hard work in successfully operating a summer school program for our students. And not just any students, they're our youngest itty bitty students, our pre-K students and our kindergarten students. So that takes a special person to spend time with them during the year and then have that extended time over the summer. But she ran that program and they didn't miss a beat at serving our students. She couldn't be here tonight, but her wonderful principal is going to come up and accept the award on her behalf. So please tell a friend, post all the good things that you're hearing, the accomplishments that our kids made. This is just a little piece of some good things that are going on in Pine Bluff School District.
Next on our agenda for tonight is Personnel Policy Committee.
Good evening, Board, Superintendent Carlott, and to all of our public. I rise to share with you just a policy that PPC has not stopped our work, even though it's the summer months. We did construct a policy that you'll be seeing that we want to put on the agenda for a vote for the August board meeting. But it's a policy that we're naming 3.36A, which is a notice of contract non-renewal. Now, technically, Learns Act somewhat did away with the language of non-renewal. However, the process is still in place. Basically, you give people a contract from year to year and there's no guarantee. Well, if you ain't giving me one back, then technically that's still non-renewal without calling it non-renewal. So seeing that we continue to operate with that, and we did not want some of the things that we had this past spring to reoccur. So this policy is reactive, I will say that, but I believe it is going to suit us best as a district as well as protecting our employees. So I'm going to read the purpose for you and then share some additional things to it. Again, you guys will see this real soon. The purpose of this notice of contract non-renewal is to provide employees with sufficient time to seek other employment and make appropriate professional and financial plans. The Pine Bluff School District shall follow a fair, consistent, and timely process when it does not intend to offer an employment contract for the upcoming school year to that employee. So it outlines a timeline for administrators to have on their radar if if you plan on bringing somebody back. So it gives them a timeline. It gives them a window to notify said employee, to have said conversation with them if you want to allow them to mitigate some issue that may have them on that list, and then it gives you that final timeline of when you have to have notice. Now we also know that Teacher Fair Dismissal Act is also gone away. However, this policy does have a caveat in there that does not guarantee employment, but it does say because if the district does not do its due diligence, then that employee should not be penalized. Everybody need a check. Everybody need to work. And if the district does not carry its end, then we feel that that employee should not be punished and wait until June or late May to let you know you don't have a job and we start in July. That's just not fair. And so, again, you'll see this contract, and we look forward to, not contract, Lord. You'll see this policy, and we look forward to having any conversations. I know Mr. Carlock, we've already sent it to him. He's been transitioning, so he's been inundated a bit. So with whoever he appoints to lead with and talk with the PPC, we look forward to having those conversations to hash out that policy and put it into effect as soon as we possibly can. Other than that, that is all that I have. Are there any questions about that? All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Board committee reports. Are there any board committee reports?
I guess I'm the only one. Well, good evening, everyone. We'll have, who's coming? You coming? Okay. We have Van come up and give us an update on the project, and we'll go from there.
Well, President Robinson, Mr. Carlock, and members of the board, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure and a privilege to be here in front of y'all and discuss the great things that are going on out at the high school site. Sean will have, I think, more detailed information. I just wanted to lay out in front of y'all that we are to the point to where I would call it fit and finish. We have got mechanical, electrical, plumbing systems are installed, being fine-tuned. Everything's in the dry. All the glazing's in, and we're seeing materials being installed. Paving, I think there's just a little bit of paving left, and then we'll start working on landscaping. But the courtyard looks great. If you've driven by and seen the football turf field and really just the paint up, fix up of that facility, just really looks awesome. And this is probably the hardest part for our general contractor. I should have started off by saying I'm Clayton Baden with Lewis Architects. So I'm the architect. I'm not having to work hard at the tail end of this, but it is hard to finish. And East Harding's done a great job and is doing a great job of that. And we want to finish on time, and right now we are on budget. I would say a little under budget. So those are two good things to kind of end with, being on time and under budget. And we will work hard to have a fine facility. A few of the little things that are going on right now, we're finishing up the final touches to the history wall that will go into the very front of the building. As you come in the front door in the lobby has the history of Pine Bluff School District. And then we're also finishing up the Championship Plaza. We are adding the banners on the north side of the arena that faces the football field of all the sports that have state championship years, and that will be just a great history of excellence in athletics that Pine Bluff School District has produced. And so we are excited to finish and let everybody enjoy this building. So thank you for letting me be here. I can answer any questions, but I also want Sean to get to show you the fun stuff of flying around. So thank you. There's a lot of zebras on that field.
Well, Board, thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. We'll see a few zebras in our presentation, so hopefully we can get that going. Get him started real quick. Maybe. There we go. Yep, it's done. So you'll notice the brick wall here. That's going to be a memorial garden. It'll be right here at the main entrance with the flag poles. If you remember right, that was in the part of the other high school right there at the main entry. As we come in the doors, you'll notice the history wall that Clayton was talking about. The guys are finishing it up right here. That'll have a big monitor that'll show a lot of the history, as well as plaques down both sides. That will be a great focal point right as you come in, talking about the history of the district and all the districts that have become part of the Pine Bluff School District over the years. This is kind of looking down towards the media center at the bottom of the main stair. You start to see some of the furniture that's coming in. This is kind of inside the media center itself, looking back out towards the front entry there. So as you can tell, we're definitely in the spit and polish stages at this point. This is upstairs in some of the science classrooms. You can see the epoxy tops are in. We've got the specialty fixtures that are being installed on those, as well as the last of the storage areas and prep areas for all of our science labs. Have got just now been installed this month. Had a little back order on those tops, but they're in, and we're getting the last of them tightened up right now. So this is out in the auditorium. You'll see some of the paneling work is starting to go in around the stage, and they are in the process now of starting to get the sound panels up around the top for the acoustics. At this point, we have finished the floor in there. You don't actually see it in this picture, and we're getting ready to start the seating. So the auditorium is moving along nicely. You can see the ceilings are in. The chairs, obviously, right there. That'll be starting installation very soon. Here's the sound panels up high. You can see going in. Some of the seating in the cafeteria. This is built in against the north wall, in addition to a lot of other tables and chairs that will be out in the center. A lot of stills of the kitchen, so it's a brand new kitchen. Equipment has all been installed and tested. It'll be ready for the district to start moving in. So there's one zebra. This is in the main arena. You can see that the movable bleachers are starting to come in. Those fold up or extend out. So there's one section on the north as well as a section to the west that'll actually be movable. We'll have seating that'll go on those. They're starting that as well this week, as well as some of the fixed seating that are on the south and the east side. Another good view of kind of the floor there. Coming back, you can kind of see out to the hospitality area there, looking out over the field. A good overview. You notice in in the center of the courtyard, all that concrete's complete. The gray areas where they're prepping in this for the turf that's now been installed. You'll see that in just a second. Here's a good view down inside the courtyard. You really get a feel for how large that area is. This is prepping for the last of the turf. That the whole center is about to turn green here. You get another zebra in the middle of that one. This will be a great gathering space for students safely inside the main courtyard area. Looking back towards the media center there. And the football field, this is finalizing the prep. We went in and addressed a little bit of some drainage issues. We regraded a lot of the base for the turf, and the new turf is starting to go in. Dressed up the end zones a little bit with some zebra stripes. You'll see a good view here, kind of the new field as it's gone down. We've got all the new lighting in. The press boxes have been reworked. We're in the process of getting the final electrical in for those. You'll notice a lot of the stadium has been repainted and resealed, so it's got a fresh new look. Energy's finalizing the last transformers to get the lighting on this week, so we're really wrapping the stadium up. Right now there's a great overview there of kind of the new football field, so and a great new zebra there in the middle, as well as the new zebra stripes on the end zone. So I think it really gives it a great look and kind of dresses the stadium up along with some other repairs that we've done. Board, any questions or concerns at this point? Again, we certainly appreciate the opportunity. As Clayton mentioned, we are in the last stages and frantically sweeping everything up with a broom on our way out the door and getting ready for the district to move in, and we're excited for the students to be here. So, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Our next item on the agenda is the adoption of minutes for past meetings, and I want to make sure that everyone knows that there is an amendment to this portion of our agenda. Starting with the special board meeting, we will only be adopting the minutes for the June 9th, 2026 meeting. And then for the regular board meeting, we will be adopting the May 28th, 2026 minutes and the June 22nd, 2026 minutes. To make sure that everyone makes a note of that. Once again, the special board meeting minutes for June 9th, 2026, and the minutes for the regular board meetings June the 22nd, 2026, and May the 28th, 2026. May I obtain a motion that we adopt those minutes? It has been moved and properly second that we adopt special board meeting minutes June 9th, 2026, and regular board meeting minutes June the 22nd, 2026, and May the 28th, 2026. Are we ready for the vote? All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? None. The motion is carried. Next item on the agenda, our financial report. And I understand that Ms. Jamie Reed is bringing our report to us on tonight.
Sorry. Okay, so the report that you have, again, it has the links on there for you. So the first document, there is the local revenue collection and breakdown. And so the report for this month is through the end of June. So you'll see the total collection there. And the budget that we had originally put in for fiscal year 26. So we did exceed that budget for the fiscal year. The next document is the board report, and this is going to be for all funds, period 1 through 12. This report will change during period 13, this open period before the final close of the fiscal year, but I wanted to go ahead and include it so you know, on all of the 2000s, a lot of those, there's a few negatives on there, things will be cleared, and then you'll get a new report that shows the ending, the final ending after the close. The next report, as usual, is the board report all funds, and this is just showing the current period. So this is just for period 12. Shows all of the revenue and expenditures for all funds. And the next report is the bank reconciliation. And on the final page of that, you will notice the $927.33. It does show a variance. This is due to, there's 2 payroll checks on the first page that are listed, and you'll notice on the outstanding for all payroll, it shows 0 on outstanding and 0 on cleared. That's the way the report runs. There was an issue with the employee's bank account, so those had to be reissued and uncleared. So those 2 checks total that variance. So we know to the penny exactly what it is, and that will clear itself out in the system. The next report is the board check register, and so this shows all of the checks that were issued throughout the month of June. And I glanced through there, there wasn't anything that was out of the ordinary on there. And for the building project, you'll see the board report, where I just pulled that 3001. So those are the bond proceeds. And you'll see on there the beginning balance, revenue and expenditures, and then the ending balance. So we've just about cleared that out. And then we'll start using the partnership money that has come in for that, for the rest of the project. And the next one is the bond proceeds register, and this just basically shows, I mean, it has the same amounts down there at the bottom, but it shows the listing of each period and the expenditures and revenue that went in. And you'll see the total fiscal year 26 interest down there as well. And so the total interest earned is that 3.7 over the 3 fiscal years. And then the final report is that total building project cost. So this has everything regardless of what funding source that it's been paid out of. So that's continuously tracked. Do you have any questions about any of the reports?
Any questions from the board? We're good, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Next item on the agenda is superintendent reports.
Sims, you may have to be my clicker. I don't know if I can go around there and do that at the same time. Yes. Hey, good evening, once again. Okay, so on the superintendent's report, I always want to start off with what our vision is for the district. Not only do we do that for staff members, but I also want the community to know, because this is our vision, what we want to make sure that everything is pointing to. So I'm just going to read it, not to test your intelligence, just for the sake of clarity. Pine Bluff School District will be a safe, supportive, and student-centered community where every child is believed in, challenged, and empowered to overcome barriers, achieve at high levels, and pursue the college and career goals they set for themselves. And just a little quote at the bottom says, "We don't simply educate students, we change lives. And I truly believe that we do that at Pine Bluff School District. So our next, if you can go to the next slide. Okay, what I want to start with in the superintendent's report is our reading initiative. And right now it's a conceptual model that I want to share with you, but just to give you a little background, most of our educators, and I'll say all the Pine Bluff School District educators, are used to seeing this Scarborough's Rope. And it just talks about reading. We know that the when we're talking about early education, they are learning to read. When they get a little bit older and we're talking about the secondary part of their education, they're reading to learn. Where the gaps happen is at the bottom of the rope. Those are those foundational skills that we need all students to know. And it's word recognition, simply identifying letters, word sounds, and different things, decoding, sight recognition, phonological awareness. Those are those foundational skills. And when we think about the law that came out, what happened is we had so many students that had gaps in not learning those foundational skills. And it's not saying that our teachers aren't teaching, it's that our students come to the table at various degrees of learning. Some are straight off of grandmama's lap, some are from an advanced daycare learning, some are from our own pre-K center. And the more structured learning that they have before school, the better prepared they are. Sometimes in our district we get a wealth of students that don't have those early foundational skills. So that just makes our fight a little bit harder and makes our teachers a lot more passionate about making sure that they get those skills. So the third grade law didn't point out anything that we didn't already know. We knew that students were they were growing to learning those foundational skills, but right now we have to emphasize that growth and put more into making sure that they have those foundational skills so they can be ready for that upper part of the rope, where that's more that reading to learn. When we're talking about language comprehension, we're looking at vocabulary, and we're looking at things that's going to advance their reading experience. Our goal is to make sure that we have fluent readers and writers throughout the district at all grade levels. It starts at the beginning, but by the time they leave high school, we want to make sure that we have the best of the best. So go to the next one. And then this is just a simple view of reading. And it's a similar model, but it talks about printed word recognition times language comprehension equals reading, gaining meaning. So all of us in here, sometimes we take for granted that we're fluent at reading and writing. Our students are dependent on us to give them those skills. So this is just, I'm setting the prefaces for the reading initiative that I want to push for in our district. So next slide, please. Okay, so preliminary reading initiative. Here's the vision. Every student will become a confident, proficient reader through high quality instruction, targeted interventions, family engagement, and district-wide commitment to literacy. Next slide. Okay, and also at the top of the page, you see preliminary reading initiative, building a culture of literacy, a champion for every reader, and that's what we want to encourage in that champion theme. You're going to keep hearing it from me. So here are the initial areas of focus, as this plan is a conceptual idea, but we want to make sure that it's drafted and more people at the table when we collaborate and completely roll it out. So we want to strengthen core literacy instruction. That means aligning instructional practices across all campuses, support teachers with evidence-based literacy strategies. Also, we want to use data to drive, and I don't necessarily like drive, my staff knows that. I like to inform. Data doesn't always need to drive. Data needs to go somewhere. We have to use that data so that we can make informed decisions. So we want to identify students early, and early identification is what we're going to be doing our first couple of weeks of school. We're going to be doing diagnostic tests, and that isn't just data that we sit on. It lets us know where our students are and how much emphasis we need to put on where they need to go. I do want to say this as a pause. We don't want to just focus on intervention. Some of our students come and they already know how to read. So the other side of that is how can we accelerate them? So we have to hit both targets. We not only want to intervene, but we also want to accelerate. So we want to monitor progress and respond with timely interventions. We can't wait till it's too late. The law even tells us that we don't need to wait until it's too late. We don't want to look any parent in the eye and say your child needs to be retained because we didn't do our job. We feel that pressure and we want to step up to the plate. So we want to engage families in the community. We cannot do this without families in the community being involved. Promote reading beyond the classroom, build partnerships that support literacy at home. I will tell you, one of my early goals and my early challenges for parents is to make sure that their child reads 20 minutes a day. 20 minutes a day. It doesn't sound like a lot, but if every student stays committed to it, there's evidence that shows that improves test scores alone. And this is just what the parents are doing at home. So look it up. I want to see that on Facebook. Develop a district literacy culture. Celebrate reading at all levels. It doesn't just have to be at a board meeting, and my expectation that it won't just be at a board meeting. I want to see reading celebrated. When a student learns a letter sound, we need to celebrate. When students learn, when they can identify their letters, we need to celebrate. When they get to reading those lengthier passages, we need to be able to celebrate. So foster a love for books and lifelong learning. Ensure every child has a literacy champion, somebody that's pushing them. And we have educators in this room. We have teachers in this room, and they push for reading. We know that every little moment that we celebrate with the students matters. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so as we transition, and that was just to whet your appetites about the literacy initiative that's going to be coming out. But the next thing that I have within my report is talking about human capital. And to set the stage for that a little bit, I want us to know our numbers. These are real numbers, and these numbers changed this week. That's how real this data is. Last week, the difference number at the bottom was in the negative. We have been in a pace in the past couple of years of declining enrollment. But this week, right now, at this point, give yourselves a hand because it takes a community. At this point, we're on the plus side of enrollment. And that's a good feeling. There's so many places, I don't care where you go in Arkansas, south, north, south, east, west. I'm at a conference this week, and the enrollment is declining, not because schools are necessarily bad or not giving kids good opportunities. Students have so many choices. And job choices for parents have a lot to do with that. So there's so many other dynamics that do with why students leave. But as we can see, we had last year, at the end of last year, we had 2,836 students. Right now, we have 2,852 students. So we're plus 16 students. All right, next slide. And I just want you guys to know that these are all the things that we're considering when we hire. When we hire, we have to let our student population drive the need for hiring teachers. And sometimes that process seems slow. Sometimes it seems like nothing is going on, but we have to be strategic in doing it. And here's why. The Arkansas School Staffing Matrix gives us a model of how to staff our buildings. And if you can see, the FTE up there just means full-time equivalent. So this is just a generic, a building that has 500 students. This is just a generic model of what staffing should go with that building. So we consider those things because when enrollment goes down and we don't adjust staffing, then some other things may happen. But what also supersedes this model is the need for the students. If we see that even though we don't have 500 students in the building, but there's a need for an assistant principal to that building because we know that behavior may spike and there's some other logistical things that we need, then we have to make internal decisions to make sure that we can fund that. So I just want you guys to know that the state does provide a model. If you see where schools or districts veer from that model, it's usually based on a need. But we can't ever get in a situation where we're overspending and our student enrollment is declining. That's where we can get ourselves in trouble. So next slide, please. So as I roll over into student support services, and that's C on the agenda, Ms. Hatley is going to come up and tell us about our handbook this year and some potential changes.
As an inside joke, Pastor, is that I'm the same height as my mama, and my daddy was an inch taller. So hey, I didn't stand a chance. Good afternoon, to the board members, interim superintendent Carlock. Before you, I've laid a document, and I'll be real swift. And we have, first of all, I was out for 12 weeks. And I'd like to personally thank Rose Smith and Mr. Antoine Bennett for assisting us to get caught up. Okay. So we have a draft here, and in that draft we've made some changes. One of the first things we've changed would be our school building personnel, and then we updated Mr. Carlock's title to interim superintendent throughout the book. He did do and submit a new welcome as the interim superintendent. And last year, when we get down to concurrent college credits, last year we got dinged from the Department of Ed because we did not have a concurrent credit statement in our handbook, but we didn't have it because we wasn't doing concurrent credit. So that has been added. It's like the third page over in your handbook you have here. We also have our honor graduate requirements edit for that. In the past, every scholar that was an honor graduate had to take 10 AP or pre-AP classes. When you search around our area, no one uses that number. It's much lower. Particularly one person in the city uses just three classes. But we've gone away from 10. We're talking to Principal Laurent, Mr. Carlock, and Yvette Johnson. We're going down to 8. So 8, and then the second edit would be you can decide if you want to decide who the honor graduates are by the 7th semester or the 8th semester. And the counselor recommended the 8th semester. Mr. Carlock and myself and Mr. Laurent have agreed on the 7th semester. And the 7th semester will also include what we say the spring year of a 12th grader. Okay? If we go any different, we will be just looking at half the school year, stopping at semester, and then just leave it alone. And that's not, we want all our seniors to know everything counts for the whole year. All right? And we have what we call a grade forgiveness for our 8th grade kids. This is new to the state. And in the past, some of our 8th graders have taken Algebra 1, and if they failed, it counted against their GPA. The new law says that they have a forgiveness. If they don't pass it, it does not count against them. Okay. Lastly, we have our different diplomas, distinguished and merit, and that has been updated through the handbook. And I want to thank Ms. Lutanya Ross for providing that information. The last thing we need to do, which we did today, is get Mr. Starger's picture as a board member. That's why I was over there fixing his clothes. And we would make that edit in the book as well as all the other school board members. And upon that, that is our recommendation, that you approve our handbook based on those changes. Do you have any questions for me?
Tanley, let's go back to the grade forgiveness. Explain that to me again.
Some of our 8th graders take Algebra 1. In the past, if they took the class, Pastor, and they flunked it, that F was on their transcript. It counted against them.
Okay.
All right. Now the state says we will not hold it against them. They encourage them to take it. So even if they make an F, it won't go toward their GPA when they graduate.
But we are still helping to bring that grade up or to pass.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We want them to feel encouraged to move up and do the best they can do, and not be fearful of what it might count against them. And that's been recognized around the whole state.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you all.
Ms. Hadley does so many great things for our district. The student handbook is one of them. So please forgive me for your time out. She gave me some tasks and I didn't get all of them completed. So she said, just give me that book, Mr. Carlock. But we're a team. I know, we're a team. That's what teams do. Okay, and one of the last things, community engagement, and you can go to the next one. It's a champion for a champion in our community. So what I want to roll out to not only the board but also the community, Those are dates, and I'm looking for places. I think I have my first place, so this is going to post online. I want to have a listen and learn tour. And the purpose of that is going into the zones that are represented in our district, going into the community, and giving the community an opportunity to be heard by the interim superintendent. I hear that a lot of people want their voices heard. They have concerns that they feel aren't being met. And this isn't going to be a complaining or gripe session. This is going to be a solution session so I can hear some things. Now, I'm not coming with all the answers. I will not pretend to say I have every answer for every meeting that we go to. But I am going to take notes. I am going to listen to the community, and I want to hear what the community is expecting of our district. And so many things I heard even from public comment. It is their district, their money, and they're putting us to be good stewards over it. So our listen and learn tour, like I said, the dates are up there. I'm going to post some things online of the location and just hit the ground running. I'm not coming with any agenda other than my 2 ears. I've heard from a wise book that you need to be quick to listen and slow to speak. So that's what I expect to do. So next slide, please. And this is the last part, and I just want to give you guys some guidance on this. You'll have an email coming to you from our maintenance and operation, from our custodial staff, and also from me. You did get it, okay. About our ground schedule. That's our schedule for going around and cutting yards, making sure that our buildings look nice. Also a custodial report. Throughout the summer, our custodians went and they stripped floors and waxed floors and things like that. Now, we know as educators we have to inspect what we expect. So I can throw out schedules all day long, but if I don't go around and plan facilities walks, that's a schedule that'll be coming to you guys. Unless I plan facilities walk, I won't know any of that stuff is going on other than it's on the schedule and on paper. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys, and that's my part of trying to be a champion for operational excellence. And like I said, you'll hear that word over and over again. I want to champion everything in our district for the good of our students. And that's my report. Any questions?
I had a question about the facilities, the mowing, and I saw you said it was like 6 people per 20 acres or something. And I think
That's what the report said. Yes, sir.
and we're below, right? 'Cause we have I think we have 300 acres, and I think we have 6 people. So do we need to hire some more people, or what do you suggest?
That's always, and I would love to invite Mr. Gregg in because he oversees those facilities for a more detailed report. But I can give you surface level. We're always trying to hire good grounds people that can be consistent and get the job done. We just have that solid 6 that are, faithful to coming. So we stretch them, but we're always looking for good grounds people. And it's hard work, being out there in the sun, being out there in the heat of the day. But it's a good work because it's what's best for our students.
Next item on the agenda for tonight is new business, and the first one of those, item A, approval of the 26-27 student handbook, which we've heard the addendums to that handbook. I would like to obtain a motion that we approve our 26-27 student handbook for the district.
Director Whitmore moved that we approve the 2026-2027 student handbook as presented.
It has been moved and properly second that we approve the 26-27 student handbook for the Pine Bluff School District with the addendums that were added on tonight. Are we ready for the vote? All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? None. The motion is carried. Next item on the agenda, item B, approval of the resolution for district banking accounts.
Okay. All right. What you have in your packet, since we have had a transition in board roles and even with the interim superintendent, the names that are tied to the bank signatures and who can make authorizations on those accounts, it needs to be changed. So that's in your board packet. And it's just approving the resolution that the names have been changed from the original resolution to match the names of the people who are currently in the positions.
Are there any questions? If there are no questions, I would like to obtain a motion that we approve the resolution for district banking accounts. It has been moved and properly second that we approve the resolution for district banking accounts. Are we ready for the vote? All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? None. The motion is carried. Approval of the EFT authorization.
Okay, so we have a sub driver who is a purchase service, but is being used pretty consistently. But the EFT authorization is for the sub driver to receive direct deposit instead of those paper checks.
I'd like to obtain a motion that we approve the EFT authorization. It has been moved and properly second that we approve the EFT authorization. Are we ready for the vote? All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? None. The motion is carried. Item D, approval of new vehicle insurance.
And that's, all of us have to do it, districts as well, so that one's self-explanatory.
$72,000, I believe it was. Okay, we have two questions. One was who do we have insurance with, and what the amount was. Can we answer those?
The amount of the insurance is $72,065, and the APSIT APSIT plan vehicle insurance renewal.
Any other questions? I'd like to obtain a motion that we approve the new vehicle insurance. It has been moved and properly second that we approve our new vehicle insurance. Are we ready for the vote? All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? None. The motion is carried. We have 3 agenda addendums as far as MOUs that need to be that have been added that we needed to come back and get an explanation for and approve. So can we get, the first one is the MOU Arkansas Teaching Corps, $40,000.
So Arkansas Teacher Corps is one of our pathways for our teachers, and helps us employ about 5 teachers a year. But the $40,000 in the MOU is for the training, supports, and all the things that are tied to developing that teacher to be completely certified.
Any questions on that? If there are no questions, I would like to obtain a motion that we approve the MOU for Arkansas Teaching Corps of $40,000. Need a second? It has been moved and properly second that we approve the MOU for Arkansas Teaching Corps in the amount of $40,000. Are we ready for the vote? All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? None. The motion is carried. Item F, MOU for ARESC Virtual Academy in the amount of $60,000.
Okay, and for this one, since we are low, and I will say that publicly, we need special ed teachers. And in some of our areas, we don't have special ed teachers, but we do have staffing in the room, but they're not certified to teach the coursework. So we hire a teacher through the virtual academy to service them virtually. So we'll have a pair in the room, and they'll give them those classes that they need because they have to come from, or those services that they need because they have to come from a certified teacher. So it just helps us to meet the need in spite of us not having certified staff.
Are there any questions? If there are no questions, I would like to obtain a motion that we approve the MOU for ARESC Virtual Academy in the amount of $60,000. It has been moved and properly second that we approve the MOU ARESC Virtual Academy in the amount of $60. Are we ready for the vote? All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? None. The motion is carried. Item G, the MOU for Juvenile Court in the amount of $27,000.
And this is near and dear to Ms. Hadley's heart, is she helps us in serving our families in need of support. But our juvenile court services, we have a MOU with them because there's also court costs, drug test, and truancy that's covered within that cost of processing it. So this is just a yearly cost that we have to pay them so that they can process those funds. And it barely meets that threshold to where we need board approval. But since it does go over the threshold, we would need board approval for the MOU.
Any questions? If there are no questions, I would like to obtain a motion that we approve the MOU for Juvenile Court in the amount of $27,000.
Director Whitmore, second.
It has been moved and properly second that we approve the MOU for Juvenile Court in the amount of $27,000. Are we ready for the vote? All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? None. The motion is carried. I would like to obtain a motion at this time. We omitted at item 10 an approval of our financial report. So I would like to obtain a motion that we approve our financial report coming from Ms. Jamie Reeves.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second that we approve the financial report as we heard on tonight. Are we ready for the vote? All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? None. The motion is carried. At this time, we will move into executive session for the purpose of considering employment, appointment, promotion, demotion, disciplining, or resignation of any public school officer or employee. We're going to move out of the room, so if you would like to stay, you may remain seated.
Ms. Ferris, Ms.
testing. We're now returning from executive session where no action was taken on what was discussed in executive session. I would like to at this time obtain a motion that we approve all personnel matters that were discussed in executive session as they were discussed.
I move to approve the personnel items that were discussed during executive sessions as they were discussed.
Director Whitmore second.
It has been moved and properly second that we approve those, y'all messed me up, those ideas that were discussed in executive session as they were discussed. Are we ready to vote? All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? None. Motion is carried. I'd like to obtain a motion that we adjourn. It has been moved and properly second that we adjourn our meeting for this evening. Are we ready to vote? All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? None. Motion is carried. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.